What up, Acheron family? Good to see you, and welcome to the 24 Standards of Acheron. Today we're talking about standard number 9, which is to treat every customer with dignity. This one is personal for me. There was a time in my life when I didn't have much. I was struggling financially. I had a young family, was on welfare, food stamps, and I remember going to the doctor. I was so embarrassed because I remember at the daycare we used to go to for our kids, the daycare that was paying for the state was paying for my daycare bill. And our doctor brought their kids to that same daycare. And I remember that our kids were friends with their kids. And I remember going into our doctor's office, and when it was time to for the payment, I remember just having this cloud over my head, that just knowing that here I was with the Oregon Health Plan, and I felt so embarrassed. I felt ashamed. And I wasn't doing anything wrong. It was just where I was at in my life. And I just remember every time I see her, I felt like I was less than. And I felt like I was embarrassed because I was poor. And so this one I think really hits home, because she never, they treated us with dignity. They treated us with respect. They weren't really friends of ours, but our kids had become friends. And I never felt like there was any judgment, but I carried all this judgment. And I find that most people in this world don't judge people because they just don't operate that way. It's the people who judge are the people who feel judged. And in the car business, I think it's real easy to put people into categories, right? Oh, that person has good credit. They're a Cotto customer. That person has bad credit. Or that person has no money down. That person is a cash buyer. And whatever. It's just real easy to put these people into boxes. And I think the dangerous part is when we start labeling people, we stop seeing people as human beings. Like, what if that customer with a 490 credit score is working 2 jobs and trying to provide for their family? What if that customer who walks in the door, who's frustrated, had 3 bad experiences at other dealerships before they even walked in our door? And what if that customer that's asking 100 questions simply is just cautious about making another bad financial decision? The point is, we never know the full story. There's this term, it's called Sonder. And Sonder means that every set of eyes that you meet has a world as complicated and complex and difficult and intricate as you do. So we're not the only one that has problems. We're not the only ones that have whatever problems, marital problems, family problems, financial problems. Everybody you meet has the same set of problems. They may be on different scales, but they have a world that's as intricate and as complex as yours. So going back to this principle, I know that I truly believe that every customer needs to be treated with dignity and respect. And that doesn't mean that we need to always tell them what they want to hear. Sometimes the most respectful thing we can do is tell them the truth. Sometimes we have to explain that the vehicle isn't a good fit. Sometimes we have to explain that we simply can't make the numbers work. But we can do all of that while preserving their dignity. We don't talk down to people. We don't embarrass people. We don't make people feel small. We don't make people feel like their worth is tied to their credit score or bank account. Because every person's value has nothing to do with how much money they have or what's on their credit report. Every customer who walks into our lot is somebody's son, somebody's daughter. It's your sister, it's your mom, it's your dad. The car business has a reputation problem, right? People in the car business they go to places and there's games and there's manipulation and they have their guard up, and you just never know what people are carrying in when they come in. So if our mission at Acheron is to change the auto industry for the better, then what do we do? So here's my call to action for you guys today. Treat every customer that comes in. I don't care what they look like, what they smell like, what they talk like, what they walk like they're a member of your own family. Before every interaction, ask yourself, if this were my wife, my son, my daughter, my friend, or my mother sitting across from me, how would I want them to be treated? Then treat that customer exactly the same way. At the end of the day, we don't measure our success by the number of cars we sell. We measure our success truly by answering this question or these questions. Did the customer leave feeling respected? Did I protect their dignity? Did I make their day a little better because they met me? Because changing the auto industry doesn't happen through one big event. It happens one conversation at a time, one interaction at a time, one respect at a time. Every time we treat someone with dignity, we're proving them that the car business can be different. This is how we change the auto industry for the better. Peace, y'all. Thanks for listening.